God know you better than you know yourself, and he's not about to give you anything that you're not ready for.
To us, so we are coming here with a force. Yes, blessing the reap and we course.
Hey my loves, welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those who don't know, my name is Amber, and this channel is filled with everything lifestyle, motivation, God, inspo, and travel. If any of that interests you, make sure you hit that subscribe button and like this video because we're about to get straight into it, okay? So I'm extremely excited about today's video. I absolutely love talking about God. Like, God is so amazing. Never fails me. He always surprises me, but it's like I'm not surprised because it's God. But God is just amazing, okay? So this video came about because of the season that I am currently in and the seasons that I've been in, and I look back on it was like, wow, like God always come through. And God always do what he say he's going to do. And I was talking to God the other day and I was like, I'm ready to make another YouTube video. What should I talk about? What should be my topic? And what popped in my mind was, you don't have to rush when you believe what God has promised you. Now I'm saying that again, okay? You don't have to rush when you believe what God has promised you. So now when I say that you don't have to rush, I'm not saying procrastinate on your goals and on your dreams and things that you have to do to get there because you know that God is going to do it anyway. That's not what I'm saying. Because procrastination will definitely delay the blessings God have for you. So when God calls you to do something, you need to act on it in that moment. People always say, oh, I have till tomorrow. Oh, I'll do it next week, or I'll do it later this week, or no, do it now. What I mean by when I say you don't have to rush when you believe what God promised you is that, one, you don't have to be so hard on yourself, and you don't have to try to figure out every little detail to get there. I feel like your only job is to believe and do the best that you can, and everything will fall into your lap. When you believe that God is going to do what he say he's going to do, you're not out here forcing to get in that position or forcing that outcome to happen. So you hear that saying that it's a marathon, not a race. Well, that is something to live by, especially when you're walking with God. So when you believe the promises that God has given you, it comes with a certain kind of peace that you just cannot explain. It's the kind of peace that allows you to sit back and let go and take the action that you know how to take in this moment and let God handle the rest. You're not out here trying to take control of every little detail to make it happen because that's just not for you to do. When you are on this walk with God, it is not easy. Like, do not let anyone tell you it is. From my own experience, it has not been easy. When you walk with God, you're literally dying to your flesh. You're denying yourself of instant gratification. You are constantly turning away from how you used to do things because God said do it a completely different way. And that's where your obedience come into play. And being obedient just goes right back to you believing what God said he's going to do. It might not make sense. You don't know how it's going to happen. You might not have every detail, but that's where believing and trusting God come into play. So when you're on this walk with God and you are walking to the places that you and him talked about, it is very important to be obedient and listen to the instructions that he give you on how to do things, because doing it your own way can put you in situations or delay what he's trying to do in your life, and all that could have been avoided if you would have just been obedient. I'm gonna give you an example from my own life. God gave me these visions and shown me what he can do in my life and where he want to take me. He gave me certain visions of places that I'm going to live, and I'm super excited about it. I'm like, okay, we finna get it then. Okay, God, like, let's go get it. When he revealed to me what he wanted to do in my life, he also gave me certain instructions to take. He told me to start a business. He told me to start creating content. He gave me all these amazing ideas to start pursuing to get me to that destination. But because I didn't fully believe in myself, and that just goes back to not fully believing in God, because yes, God was giving me all these visions and I thought they were great and I was ready to go out there and get them. I wasn't ready to do it the way he wanted me to do it. I didn't fully trust the way that he said I need to do it. So when he's telling me like start the business and start posting the content, All that stuff was completely outside of my comfort zone. And they always say you have to get uncomfortable to be comfortable. And that is so true. You know, you can never grow inside your comfort zone. I resisted and procrastinated for so long because I'm just like, no, I'm not about to put myself out there like that. Because to be a content creator, you really have to be vulnerable. You have to put yourself in a position to be all of you, especially if you want to be successful in this kind of industry and really like walk with purpose in it. You have to show another side of yourself that at that time I was not ready to do. So instead of acting right away on the instructions that God gave me, I was like, no, I'm going to do it. I'm going to get there, but this is how I'm going to do it. So I thought that I was going to keep waitressing and working. I talked about it in my last video, but I used to work at a club. I thought that I was going to save up my money from working at a club and waitressing and then move and then do my content how I want to do my content and all this stuff. And when I tell you none of that stuff will work out, it was always something, problem after problem, or I was feeling drained while hustling and working hard to make this dream come true that God gave me. I would be so drained and so unfulfilled that I wouldn't even want to go to work or just be in the environment. I was just over it. And little did I know, me resisting and not doing what God was telling me to do was delaying my own blessings and delaying my own breakthrough. So I was trying to go back to what was comfortable for me. Making money in the club and making money in the service industry is very comfortable to me. It's something that I've been doing since I was 18, 17. So I didn't want to leave that industry. But when God is calling you to do a certain thing, even if it scares you, you need to do it because it's only for your good and for your growth. And when I realized all that, I'm like, okay, God. And it's going to come a certain time where God will push you to a certain point to where you have no other choice but to do what he said do so you can fulfill his promise. And another thing, it's not about me. Like what he's trying to do in my life is much bigger than I am. And I am now fully aware of that. So that's where I'm just like, okay, God. And I just feel like me resisting taking those steps far as starting a business and doing content and all that is because that stuff comes with a lot of discipline. It requires you to have a lot of discipline, time management skills, a certain kind of work ethic. And at that time, even now I'm still working on it, but discipline, what? That did not exist in my life. I did not have any discipline. Time management, absolutely horrible. All the traits that you need to have to be successful in a business and to be a successful content creator, I did not have those things when God was telling me to start. So I was just like, no, I'm not doing it. I'm going to do what's comfortable for me. But what was comfortable for me did not work and was never going to work and was never going to get me to where God is taking me. It just wasn't. And it wasn't meant to. So it came a point where I had to really sit down. And this is like months after he told me what to do. I mean, we're talking 6 months after he already told me what I need to start doing. I was so fed up and tired of rushing because when you're inside that kind of industry, it's very fast paced and everything is rush, flow, whatever. And 6 months after he already told me what I actually need to do, I was just burnt out, tired because I'm like, I'm working, I'm saving, but yet I'm still not seeing what you said that you have for me. Like, what is it? And he's like, because you're doing it that way. That's why you're so tired, because you're doing it that way. That's why you're so unfulfilled, because you're trying to get my promises with your fleshly way of doing it. I don't even know if that's a fleshly way of doing things. I don't know if that's a word, but I hope you're following me here. I was trying to get God promises with my own way of doing things, and that's literally not how it works. So after the months has passed and I'm sitting here talking to God like 6 months later, tired, burnt out, exhausted because of nothing that I'm trying to do is working, I asked God, I'm like, okay, what do I need to do to get there? And he tells me what he told me 6 months ago: start the business, start creating content, do this, so on and so forth. And so he told me to do the same things that he told me to do back then. I just came to the conclusion that I just have to do it. So I started pursuing and taking steps towards what God has called me to do. And when I tell you it wasn't easy, And it's still not easy because you are now doing something that you never done before. You are now putting yourself in a position that is uncomfortable. But one thing about it, if God called you to do it, he's going to see you through it. He's going to give you the strength. He's going to give you the knowledge and the resources to fulfill that promise. All you have to do is just show up and try. No matter how hard it looks, no matter how long it looks like it's going to take for everything to start falling into place, whether that's with a business, a marriage, getting a new car, a new home. The steps may look hard and the road may look long, but God will equip you to get there. God will give you the strength to push through. And because I was so ready to change my current circumstances, like living in Dallas and just all the trauma and all the heartbreak and just things I encountered here, I was such in a rush to move to a new state, not even fully realizing that God gave me those visions to show me, look, this is what you're going to have, but I need to prepare you for it first. See, there's always a bigger picture to your waiting season. So don't be in a rush to get to those destinations. Don't be in a rush to get to this certain goal or get that certain car or hop into that marriage. Understand that there's a bigger purpose behind your waiting season and why God is calling you to do certain things before he puts you where he wants you to be. God will literally prepare you. And that's why you should not be in a rush. Because think about it. If God would have given me what he's promising me, with my lack of discipline, bad habits, horrible time management, if he would have given me what he's promising me with the unhealed trauma I had and the lack of boundaries and knowledge and lack of awareness in who I was at that time, I would have sabotaged it all. I would have blew it all. I would have ruined everything that God has set up for me. But God is such a good father that he is not going to give you something before you're ready for it. Okay? God is not going to give you something before you are ready to receive it. God knows what he's doing. That's why there's no need to rush, especially when you believe that God is going to do what he said he's going to do. And if you don't have it right now, it's for a reason. So I'm not in a rush to get it because there's a reason why I don't have it right now. Okay? So after talking about that and my own experience with rushing and trying to get to a certain destination without following God's instructions and trying to do things on my own, I just want to talk about when you actually do start believing what God promised you, you just start moving differently, you know? You no longer have anything to prove. You're no longer in a rush. You're no longer trying to be out here forcing this to happen and make things move on your own. When you start working on the instructions that God gave you, that's where your peace should really come into play because you're literally doing what he told you to do. So if something isn't happening right away, it doesn't mean it's not going to happen. It's for a reason. God will make things happen when he's ready to. If God really wanted to, he can give you $1 million right now. Like he can give you the house. He can give you the marriage right now. But he know you. God know you better than you know yourself. And he's not about to give you anything that you're not ready for. That's how much he loves you. He loves you so much that he's not about to give you that large amount of money, that house, that career. He's not even about to let you meet the people who's going to be in your life forever because you aren't even healed enough to treat them properly. That's a word. All right, y'all, I feel like that was a lot, but I hope you are following me here. So I had watched this video by Travis Green. I'll put the actual video on the screen and I'll link it below. But I was watching this sermon by Travis that he did on Easter Sunday. And he was talking about how when he goes to the airport, he likes being late. Like he loves being late to the airport because it gives him like this rush. And I understand that rush he's talking about. And he goes on to say he's always late to the airport because he has clear. Now, if you're someone who travels, then you know if you got clear, you're going straight through that line. You don't have to wait at TSA and that long line and people waiting to get patted down, go through security. You clear. You show up to the airport, let's say 10, not gonna say 10 minutes, kind of rushing it, but still like 10, 15 minutes before your flight. I got clear. I'm walking straight through all this line, this traffic, and I'm going straight to my gate, okay? Travis was pretty much saying, you know, he loves being late to the airport because he has clear. He know he's clear. He don't have to worry about the long lines that's going to be there. Listen, he don't have to worry about what's going on when he get there, because he's clear to go ahead and move past through it. That's the same thing with you. You don't have to rush to get to the airport. You don't have to rush to get to your destination. And you also don't have to worry about what's in the way and all this stuff, because baby, you are already clear. So you just need to take your time, and you're going to get to your destination. You're going to pass by all that when you're walking with God. Okay? Now, I'm not saying it's not going to be any trials or tests along the way, because it is. But when you are aware that it's going to be trials and tribulations and tests along the way, that should make you even more excited, because you know that you're equipped for it. Like, you know that can't nothing break you as you're walking towards the promises that God has for you. It's going to be tough, but you know you're built for it. You know what I'm saying? That's the kind of peace and confidence that comes with trusting God. So Travis then goes on to say how Jesus was never in a rush to get anywhere either. So he talks about in the Bible when Lazarus was dying and he was sick and Jesus was taking his time. They called Jesus like, hey, Jesus, Lazarus is dying. He's sick. This is his last day. No, come save him. Guess what Jesus did? Jesus never came. Jesus took his time. Jesus came the day after, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, I don't want to give y'all the wrong word, but I believe Jesus came the day after, or a few days after, 3 days after. And he came in and he was like, where's the body? Oh, y'all gotta watch. Y'all need to go to Travis' video, because he gonna explain it way better than I can. But he said Jesus walked in and said, where's the body? And they're like, oh, he's buried. He's over there. And Jesus is like, I never told y'all to bury him. I never told y'all to put this stone over him. Move that stone out the way. Oh, but he's dead. Oh, it smells. Like, no, Jesus. He's like, I didn't tell y'all to do that in the first place. Move that stone out the way. So, so they moved the stone and Lazarus' body is wrapped up. And Jesus is like, I didn't even tell y'all to wrap him. Why is this man wrapped? So they moved the stone and Jesus like, Lazarus, come out. Oh my God. Y'all have to watch the video. I love the way Travis did this. But so Lazarus comes on out and Jesus tells them to unwrap him, because they had him wrapped up like a zombie, like a mummy. So I say all that to say Jesus was never in a rush to get anywhere. Jesus took his time getting to Lazarus because Jesus knew who he is. Jesus wasn't in a rush to get there because Jesus knew the power that he holds. Jesus knew what he was going to do. Jesus knew what God equipped him to do. So if you are serving God, and God sent Jesus to do some amazing things in this world, why don't you think that same power applies in your life? You need to be more like Jesus and not be in a rush to get anywhere, because you know when you show up, you already know what God is going to equip you to do when you make it to that destination. So you're not in a rush to get there. You're going to get there when you get there. It's already done. So just circling back around to my point, when God promises you that car, you don't need to be going to dealership and trying to find the best deal. You won't have to go broke to get into that new car. When the time is right, God is going to guide you to where to go get your car. And on top of that, God is going to provide for you. So I give you another example. So when God gives you a vision on a certain career path that you're going to be taking, or a certain room that he's going to have you in, don't spend your time worrying about how you're going to get in that room. Don't be out here trying to force yourself to get into those rooms. And don't be out here comparing yourself to people who's already in that industry or already working in that career path. And the reason I say you don't have to force yourself to get into those rooms is because God is going to place you in those rooms very strategically, and he's going to place you at the right time. So when you believe that God is going to do what he said he's going to do, you're not rushing. What you are doing is you're perfecting your craft. You're getting yourself prepared. You're asking God, hey God, what can I be doing to prepare myself for that job, for that car, for that marriage, for that career that you say that you're going to place me in? God, what do I need to heal before you give me this life? Because I don't want to take this version of myself now to those places, because the version of you now is why you have what you have. All right, so let's say now that You are at a point in your life where God gave you glimpses and visions on where He's taking you and gave you instructions on how to get there and what He wants you to do. So between where you're at now and where you're going, it's called the preparation season, okay? Everyone got like different seasons they're in, right? So between now and where you're going, you're being prepared. God is equipping you for where He's about to take you. And getting prepared can look like taking care of your body and your health, because where you're headed is going to cause you to be the healthiest that you've ever been. You could be learning and researching about the places that you're going, about the industry that you know that you're soon going to be in. You can be filling yourself up with so much knowledge. Depending on where you're headed, you can be sitting there, you can be perfecting your craft along the way. For example, I'm gonna give you me for example. I have dreams of being this big content creator with thousands of followers on my platforms and inspiring and motivating a lot of people. So what do I need to be doing in this season before God give me that large platform? I need to already be showing up like I have one. I need to be posting consistently. I need to be on here making these kind of videos because I'm going to be doing them then just on a larger scale. At this time, I need to continue to perfect my craft, my editing skills. I need to continue to work on how I speak, how I interact with people. There's so much that you can be doing in your preparation season before you get to God promises. That's why it's never a rush, especially when you know you have so many things to work on. Just take your time, heal. For example, when God gave me the visions and promises that He had for me, I was the most broken I have ever been in my life. I mean, trauma from friendships, trauma from relationships, not feeling like I can ever open up again and trust people, feeling like I can never really date again. When God showed me like where He wants to take me and want me to do in my life, I was like, oh, that's going to cause me to interact with a lot of people, God. I realized that that stuff is going to take me partnering with people and connecting with people. And I was so damaged from past relationships and friendships. Honestly, my heart turned so cold towards people to the point where I'm just like, no, I'm good. I don't think I want to pursue that career path. I don't think I want to be that person. But at the same time, I knew I wanted to do those things. But the person who was saying, oh no, I don't want that, was just a hurt and unhealed version of myself. And I had to ask God, God, heal me. Continue to renew my mind before you take me to these places. That's when I started to slow down. When I realized how damaged I was, and I was looking at other people and friendships and relationships and seeing how healthy it was, and wanting that for myself, but realize there's no way that I can even maintain a healthy relationship because of what's going on internally with me. That's when I had to pray to God, like, heal my heart, heal me, Lord, from my past, so I can be able to meet the people that is meant to be in my life, so I can be able to walk in the industry and walk in the career path that you're calling me to do with confidence in myself. Allow me to forgive myself and accept my past and understand that what I used to do and who I used to be isn't the woman that you're calling me to be and isn't the woman that you see me as, Lord. So can you heal me in every department in my life so I can show up as the woman that you see me as? I'm telling you, not being in a rush goes deep, because you're allowing yourself to fully prepare and equip for it. And even then, when you get there, you might not know everything, but you at least have enough to get started. And God will provide you with the knowledge and the resources and the people along the way. So I'm telling you, don't rush anything in your life, especially when you know that God is going to do it and it's going to come to pass. Babe, you don't have to rush. This is a marathon, not a race. Embrace the waiting season, embrace your preparation season, because that's where the true transformation comes. That's where you actually get to sit back and witness yourself from a higher perspective, growing and changing. I literally sit back all the time and just look at myself from a higher point of view and be like, wow, Amber, I am so proud of you. And that's exactly how you're going to be when you stop trying to rush and get to wherever God has called you to be, and just sit back, flow, and know you're going to get there. And along the way, you're going to keep working on yourself. You're going to keep preparing yourself and perfecting your craft. And that's where the beauty of life come in, because you're able to watch and witness yourself grow and witness yourself become this new person that you have never been before. It's a beautiful experience. So next time you find yourself trying to force yourself into a certain situation, trying to force yourself to get a certain kind of result or get to a certain destination, just sit back and ask yourself, do you really believe that it's for you? Because if you really believe something is for you, you don't have to force it. You know you're going to get it. You know it's going to come. All you have to do is take aligned action to get it. You don't have to force anything when it comes from God. Do you have to put in the work? Because faith without works is dead. Yes, you have to put in the work, but you won't have to force it. Take aligned action. And if any of the action that you're taking is hard, it's only hard because it's probably 9 times out of 10 is outside of your comfort zone. And that's what I had to learn. Starting a business isn't hard, it's just outside of my comfort zone. Starting a business just caused me to have more discipline and time management, and it caused me to open my mind and learn more about entrepreneurship. And none of that stuff is hard. It's just either you're going to do it or you're not. If you really want it or you don't, Are you going to let your lack of discipline and bad habits get in the way of the dreams that God has for you? And then, it's so crazy to me because, like the world we live in, because I used to be like this too, but you book a trip, right? You and your girls going on a trip and y'all book the flight and hotel. The trip is secured. So you pretty much forget about the trip. So between now and the time that you're about to go on your trip, you're preparing for it, right? You're preparing for that trip. You getting your nails done, your hair done, you buying clothes, you working extra hours to get some more money. You're preparing for that trip, right? Because that trip is secured. You already got your flight and hotel booked. It's secured. That same energy needs to be when you're working towards your goals and working towards the visions that God gave you. You're not rushing to get to that airport the day you book the trip, right? So why, when God give you a vision, you're rushing to get to that point the day he give it to you or the week he give it to you? Like, are you following me? You need to have that same energy with the girls' trips when it comes to the goals and visions that God give you. Get prepared. Prepare for it. Prepare between the now and then. Are you following what I'm saying? I'm telling you, God's word is more secure than those trips y'all be taking. Have that same energy with your life, have that same energy when it comes to a relationship with God, knowing that his word shall come to pass. So if he gave it to you and said, hey, this is how you're going to be living, this is where I'm going to have you, these are the kind of rooms I'm going to have you in, these are the kind of people that you're going to be speaking to, the kind of money you're going to make, this is the kind of car I'm going to have you driving. If you know the God that you serve, one, you're going to believe him, because if God say he going to do it, he going to do it. But on top of that, you're not going to be in a rush to get it because God already said it's yours. So now all you have to do is prepare in between. Start fixing yourself up as a woman who make $100K a month. Start fixing yourself up as a woman who drive that G-Wagon. I'm talking to myself, honey. Hello? Start walking and talking like that woman that own mansions all over the world. Are you following me? I'm no longer in a rush to get to all these visions and dreams and goals I have for myself. Now I am fully in the present moment, enjoying this journey of becoming that woman that I see myself being and showing up as her daily in the best way that I can. I just feel like this life thing is amazing. It's like we're in school. We are in school, but so we're about to get ready to end this video here in a second, but I just want to say that, never wait around and do nothing in between the seasons, in between your then and now. And I went over that plenty of times in the video, but that is very important. What you do in your waiting season matter, okay? You don't have to rush to get there. You also can't be procrastinating and waiting for it to just fall in your lap. Just sitting back like, all right, God said he's gonna do this. So all right, God, I'm waiting. Like, no, that is not how it works. You got to go out here and get it, okay? Take your aligned action and prepare in any way you feel is necessary. And do not wait around obsessing over like when it's going to come, when I'm going to have the platform, when I'm going to get the money, when I'm going to have the marriage. I'm telling you, when you fully focus on yourself and work on yourself and you're taking every day by day and staying present, it's going to fall into your lap. It's going to happen just like that. You're going to look up and be like, dang, But when you're obsessing over something, like for example, when you're at work and you're looking at the time and you're looking up at the clock every second, it looks like it's taking forever. Same thing go with your goals. You can't sit there and obsess over the results. It's about the process, baby. day by day. Because what you don't see is like things are really changing. Your physical might not look like it's changing, but I'm telling you, things are changing. Every day you take action. Every day you work on yourself. Every day you do that shadow work to heal. You are becoming a new person, and your new reality is forming. And that reality that God promised you is forming right before your eyes. You just can't see it yet, but it's there. It's coming. It's like you're literally walking in it and you don't even know it. Oh my goodness. And I must add this. Do not fall for the counterfeit. Now, what I mean by that is you already know what God promised you. You know what kind of life you want to live. You know what kind of career you want to work, so on and so forth. When you're in between your now and then, you're going to have the enemy sends things your way as well. So for example, say God promised you a marriage, right? And you're out having a good old time and this man approaches you. Your first thought is like, oh, this must be the man that God sent for me. Okay. He looked like everything that you want, you know, tall, dark, handsome, financially stable, smart guy, this and that. But God did not send him. The devil sent that man to trick you up and throw you off your spot. Same thing goes for money opportunities. Not all money is good money. And that's one thing I had to learn. Baby, I will be broke before I just take any deal, before I take money from anybody, before I do anything for some money. Honey, not all money is good money. Not all money come from God. So really be careful when you out here, you know, hustling and trying to get your money right. You know, there's a way to do things. You know, you don't have to betray nobody, steal, scam, and all this stuff to get money. I'm just telling you from experience. Well, in my experience, it never ends well. And I just feel like when it comes from God, you don't have to do anything that you feel uneasy about to get it. Just something to keep in mind. All right, guys, so that's what I'm going to leave y'all with in today's video. I pray that the right people come across it and receive what I'm saying today. I just want to say, you know, do not rush your journey. When God promises you something, it shall come to pass, you know. Just prepare in between your now and then. Like I said, it is a marathon, not a race. What's for you will be for you. Don't let your trauma and your comfort zone and your bad habits stop you from getting to the places that God has called you to. You know, pray and ask God to heal you and do all the inner work. So just continue to grow and build yourself up along this journey, physically, spiritually, and mentally. Know that God got you, okay? And if he called you to it, he's going to see you through it. That's just facts. Be sure to like this video and subscribe because I have so many great things coming to this channel this year that I cannot wait to share with you guys. So press the subscribe button, like for your girl because that helps me out. I will see y'all in the next vlog. Bye.
Go on with it, go on with it.